Hey, my name is Reno. You're watching an episodic recap of a D&D campaign called Ashes of Ataxia. You can catch these sessions live over on our Twitch channels. Links are in the description down below. Enjoy.
No, there seems to be a presence here, and I would say there is a little rustling over there towards my right.
I see him.
No, maybe we should search the area first. Maybe these two tents that are nearest us. See if there's anything in there that might help us, or we could eat, or kill or something, or y'all want to just go in and clap some asses, if you will?
Gromash wanna clap.
Oh, I like that.
Arriving at the mines, the party spots a lone, slim, green figure. Very small and very fragile, but also incredibly repulsive. Yet, still something with which they would be familiar. It was a goblin. And knowing goblins, this wouldn't be the only one around. In fact, there could be dozens, if not hundreds of them waiting inside. So the party decides to not take any chances.
Goblins are gross.
They need to know what they are getting into. And thus, they decide to knock the monster out and farm it for information.
No, okay. I'll perform Overwatch, and I will aim for this man's left tibia leg to try and wound him.
I think we should take him hostage.
I mean, it's one goblin. If we take him out quick and fast, then we don't have to worry about him raising the alarm.
I could shoot him in the leg.
They hurry to tie the goblin, and they even decide on a name for it. They call it Booger. Now, Booger would still take a while to wake up, so they decide to keep advancing in the meantime.
Oh, okay, we're going this
The
way.
mine has several entrances,
Oh, this way.
some doors that lead to dark hallways, some pits with seemingly no end,
I found a ladder.
but ladders on the side implying they do lead somewhere. A couple stairs that lead to more doors and tunnels, and, in the middle, a large bridge with a big door on the other side. The bridge is run down and unstable, but with a slight feeling that there is something valuable across, they decide to pick this path. Dindle decides to cross the bridge first, anchoring herself with a rope. After crossing, she proceeds to tie the rope to a nearby rock so the rest can pass safely. However, as Hamuel crosses the bridge, an unexpected party of two goblins emerges from the darkness behind Dindle and attack her.
You know what, guys? I did not think this through.
The goblins took the party by surprise, but this wasn't their first rodeo. Dindle quickly recomposes herself and prepares to cast a spell as Hamuel hurries across the bridge.
I am stacking the deck.
Upon arriving at the other side, he notices a set of crates, which he then tries to knock over one of the goblins. They surely were heavy enough to get rid of him, is what he thought. Sadly, his plan fails.
What?
All that's left for him to do is hide in a nearby water barrel, for Dindle's spell is ready.
I got a good feeling.
As she unveils the enchantment, a goblin shoots an arrow at her and hits her. This would never be enough to stop her, however, and her firebolt hits the crates by Hamuel, which were unluckily filled with a highly unstable substance.
No.
This causes an explosion that knocks Hamuel out of the barrel and onto the ground with a loud thud. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bridge, Booger had somehow managed to escape from his bindings.
Booger!
Gromash noticed in time, so the little monster couldn't sneak behind him. Instead, Gromash ran towards him and punched him right back to sleep. This, however, cost him precious time, and now his troubled partners grow even more troubled as Dindle tries to fall back onto the bridge, causing the unkempt old bridge to finally give out and collapse, leaving Dindle hanging from a rope in a desperate attempt at survival. The heated fight heats up even more as one goblin decides to run towards Hamuel, who had just gotten up and into cover, forcing him out. He, however, managed to grapple it and throw him over the edge into the water.
I am your god now.
Unluckily enough, the resilient goblin escaped its death, or at least he did, until Gromash, with a leap of fate, crossed the gap in a jump and slammed his weapon against it, killing it.
Oh, did you see that?
The other goblin, upon seeing his friend meet such a fate, commences his retreat. But Dindle, still hanging from the edge, lines up a shot, casts a long-range firebolt,
Firebolt!
and finally ends the encounter.
Do you need help over
The
there?
party is victorious. After calming down and tending to their sanity,
Nah, what happened to my booger?
they go back to check on Booger. The goblin is now sitting on a rock, struggling to breathe. It seems that Gromash went overboard with his punch. It caused a deep wound on his right parietal.
I knocked him out behind the rock.
The wound is mortal. Not much pity is to be given to a creature as disgusting and vile as this one, but it is true that the party, despite never having a full conversation with it, was ready to consider it as a pet. Not much to be done about that now, though, they think, as the wound keeps draining its vitality, until eventually it gives up and passes out for good. After exchanging a few words and saying goodbye to the beast, they move on.
I'm sorry I punched your little plaything.
Oh, you did more than knocked him out, honey. I wouldn't go over there if I were you, Hamuel.
No. I can't believe. Oh, my soul. Oh. I need to give him last rites. Your holy child, all his sins forgiven, something.
The party dives deeper and deeper into the mines, until they reach a turning point. They notice a pair of goblins in the distance,
There's 2 gobos on the left.
and not willing to repeat the previous events, the party decides to take them out stealthily. By synchronizing their attacks to take them out before they can even react, the 2 green figures fall down as their lives fade. When suddenly, a third goblin reveals itself. The goblin was naturally hidden to them at first, which gave it the opportunity to fight back. Dindle, however, was ready for this. Thus she casts a perfectly timed, perfectly aimed firebolt that hits the goblin critically, killing it instantly. The party is once more victorious.
Sassafras.
As the party keeps advancing through the mines, they find themselves at the base of yet another bridge, with a rusty door on the other side.
This bridge doesn't look safe.
Very carefully, the party crosses it, and as they approach the door, they manage to catch the faint sound of a goblin on the other side. They synchronize again to open the door,
Enemy spotted.
and they manage to kill the goblin with ease. they start to feel more and more confident.
Yeah.
The party ventures further down, as their path leads them to a hidden tomb. 4 goblins populate the area, for which they prepared another synchronized attack.
Or let's each shoot our own target.
Alright, I got the one on the right.
We're gonna teach you a lesson.
As they had been doing thus far, this one, however, fails, for the goblins manage to luck out, moving right at the perfect time. The creatures struggle to respond, but they have advantage in numbers.
Better numbers than you, boy.
The fight is not going to be an easy one. Slashes and spells dance around the tomb as it finds itself filled with the sounds of fighting. One of the goblins somehow manages to catch Gromash off guard, and with a well-placed blow, it inflicts a lethal wound.
I heard a chicken.
His eyesight grows null as the air around him gets colder.
Holy
Dindle hurries to his side, while Hamuel keeps the goblins busy. The smell of blood and steel blends together, a reminder that adventures rarely have happy endings. For no matter who, someone is always dying in the end. But the party is not about to let one of their own be that perfect example. Dindle feeds a potion to Gromash in a desperate attempt to save his life, which luckily pays off, and so Gromash fools death right there on its doorstep.
Gromash smash.
Despite his proximity to the final stop earlier, Gromash is now back on his feet, and the party manages to kill all goblins but one, who panics and runs towards the door. They shoot at it relentlessly, fitting for an adventurer whose profession goes hand in hand with death itself, and it requires them to be merciless.
You know, I had a cousin from Middle-earth who did something very similar once.
Okay.
The goblin manages to avoid all the shots and runs towards a door on the side, a door that happened to be closed. The realization never hit the poor bastard, who desperately tries to open it, screaming, crying for its filth-ridden life, as he scratches the door over and over, as if hoping the door will break and let it through. The group won't take any of it. Dindle casts one last firebolt, and this time hits the goblin, and it goes right through its head.
Hey!
The small figure stops short, ceasing its outburst. Its disfigured face is now void of any emotion, and after what seemed like a time to realize what just happened, its body falls on its back. With all goblins dead, the encounter is finished. The party is victorious.